Nice to see him again by London Leprechaun. June 20, 2018. London Leprechaun reports on a tough first day at Leicester, not just for players but supporters too, judging by the travelogue going along with the cricket. With a trip down memory lane as well, you may find the cricket bits hard to spot, but that may be just as well. I have two contrasting memories of recent-ish visits to Leicester, not sure of the year, but the first one was getting off the train to a grey, cold, drizzly sort of day, and spending an hour or so in a coffee shop in an uninspiring city centre before the drizzly rain turned to real rain and I came home listening to a test match at Lord's where play had started even after the playing area had turned to a lake. The other memory is of a golden late summer day in 2011. You will remember how that day panned out, and what it eventually led to on another golden late summer's day in 2016, but how quickly times change. Our captain on that happy day is now playing for Leicestershire. Two of our heroes on the day are at Hampshire, one we hope not for long, and our captain on that other glorious day is quite possibly going to be at Radlett from the second 11 final tomorrow. So what kind of day will this third visit bring? Well, it started in London with a cold, slightly drizzly sort of day. On the train it started to turn into golden sunshine with rivers and fields and grazing sheep looking lovely. As we approached Leicester it turned cold and drizzly again. I got the first hour or so intermittently through the BBC scores and the commentary, so heard Leicester batting, after a toss and reaching 25 halves. Good toss to lose though at that point, wondering why we had wanted to bat. At which score, as the train pulled in, they came off and I came out of the station to another grey, cold, drizzly sort of day. Decision time, another coffee in the city centre, which looked a little less uninspiring than it did those many years ago, or brave it and get to the ground as it was not supposed to rain at all today. So armed with Google to walk me to the bus, I did brave it, and found one of many buses that would take me to Grace Road. Just 10 minutes it said, about 10 stops, all easy to follow. Except that the bus did not stop at any of the stops Google said it was supposed to, and the only thing that made me sure it was going the right way was the occasional sign to the cricket and eventually the sight of the floodlights, surprisingly not on as it was still grey and a little drizzly. So having got off roughly at the right stop and walking up Grace Road, could I find an entrance to the ground? All I found were locked gates, and a few bus stops not in use. How can you find bus stops not in use? Eventually I passed a fence where I could have watched the cricket from the pavement, but it would have been a bit cold and there was no bench to sit on. Then an open gate for cars, at which a friendly steward told me where the tickets were. Turn right and right again. Oh, and while all this was going on we were playing again and we took a third wicket somewhere along my journey round the whole ground. Eventually I found the only open gate, which was nowhere near Grace Road. Now I know there was not a big crowd expected and it is midweek, but Leicestershire did not make it easy for spectators to get in, although they are very friendly once you make it. And I think the best signing is in the ground itself, done for the Women's World Cup last year. Anyhow, I can't tell you a lot about the morning session because of this adventure in getting there, although 69 third seemed a reasonable return for bowling, when we had in fact wanted to bat. But the afternoon session was disappointing, apart from the fact that the sun finally came out. Leicester looked in no great trouble. Ackerman played a real anchor role. Neil Dexter looked resolute and it was good to see him playing again. There were occasional near misses, once or two almost played on, a few going through a falling short of slips, but not enough to make us think wickets were imminent. We didn't bowl badly, but also not with real spark, and the afternoon sort of drifted. Ackerman reached a solid 50, which was greeted by a Leicester support playing a one-tone hunting horn. He also had a tambourine with him, though we never heard that. Neil Dexter's 50 got the same celebration, and I was not too unhappy that he reached that landmark. It was a little surprising when he edged a catch to Sumo, and when another wicket fell just before tea it made the afternoon slightly more fruitful, but the long post-tea session was not that great. Ackerman was patient and well supported by rain, especially when the manual scoreboard got stuck and his score really increased. Ravi Patel got some tap from Ackerman in particular. He got to his 100 with a huge 6, which got at least 4 blasts for the hunting horn, but still nothing from the tambourine. But Ravi did take a sharp caught and bowled just before the new ball became due, which was going to mean a very late finish. Nothing to do with the over rate, which was fine, but the making up of time from the rain delay, and given my adventure getting to the ground, I did leave at that point, and because my phone battery had died partly because of the adventure getting there, I could not get a score until I was on the train with a plug. So I was pleased to see we had taken 2 more wickets with a new ball, and nice to see another 5 for Mertz. So in the end it was neither a cold grey drizzly day, nor a golden one, just a difficult day at the office for Middlesex, and while we are by no means out of it, we're going to need someone tomorrow to bat big and long, and Ackerman like to put us back in control of this must-win game. Assuming, of course, we take 2 quick wickets. View a printer-friendly version of this story. The times they are changing. Middlesex till we die. Epilogue. It the 20th of June 2018, 23:14. What do you think? You can have your say by posting below. If you do not already have an account, click here to register. Sorry, only registered users may post in this forum.